He's one of the most loved men on the planet. Rich, famous, kind, and admired by millions. Yet there's one thing Keanu Reeves never had: a wife. No scandals. No divorces. No headlines. Just silence. And a story so painful he rarely speaks about it. This isn't a Hollywood mystery. It's a heartbreak that changed his life forever. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Dive into what really happened. Everyone knows Keanu Reeves. He is the quiet hero of Hollywood. The kind of star who doesn't shout for attention, yet somehow commands it. A man who smiles gently, speaks softly, and walks alone through the noise and chaos of fame as if it never touched him. Around the world, millions admire him, not just for his movies but for who he appears to be. He rides the subway. He listens more than he speaks. He treats strangers with respect. In an industry known for ego and excess, Keanu Reeves feels different, real, human. And yet, there is one question that has quietly followed him for decades. Why did a man so kind, so loyal, and so deeply loved never get married? Hollywood is full of public romances, fast weddings, and even faster breakups. Celebrities fall in love under flashing cameras and move on just as quickly. But Keanu Reeves never played that game. He never used relationships for headlines or attention. While others chased fame, luxury, and constant validation, Keanu chose something far more rare: privacy, peace, and emotional honesty. His life has never been about proving anything to the world. Instead, it has been about staying true to himself, even when that meant standing alone. Many assume his unmarried life is a sign of loneliness or emotional distance. But that assumption couldn't be further from the truth. Keanu's story is not about rejection. It is not about fear of commitment. And it is certainly not about a lack of love. It is about a heart that loved deeply, and paid a heavy price for it. Behind the calm expression and gentle smile lies a man who experienced love in its purest form, and loss in its most painful shape. Love gave him hope, warmth, and a vision of a future. But it also took something from him that could never be replaced. To understand why Keanu Reeves never married, we must first understand what love gave him, and what it took away. Because sometimes, one chapter of love is powerful enough to define an entire lifetime. In the late 1990s, at the height of his rising fame, Keanu Reeves met a woman named Jennifer Syme. Unlike many people in Hollywood, Jennifer was not chasing stardom or attention. She was creative, intelligent, and refreshingly real. What drew Keanu to her was not glamour, but honesty. With Jennifer, he didn't have to perform. He could simply be himself. Their relationship was quiet and deeply sincere. There were no red carpet appearances or public interviews. No drama, no manufactured headlines. It was just two people finding peace in each other's presence. Friends close to Keanu noticed a change in him during this time. He smiled more. He laughed more easily. For the first time, it seemed like he had found something steady in a world that was constantly moving. In 1999, their happiness reached a life-changing moment when Jennifer became pregnant with their child. Keanu was overjoyed. He spoke about the future with hope and excitement. Those who knew him said he was calmer, warmer, and emotionally open in a way they had never seen before. The idea of becoming a father gave him a sense of purpose beyond fame and success. But then, without warning, tragedy struck. Their daughter, Ava Archer Syme Reeves, was stillborn. In a single moment, the future they had imagined disappeared. The pain was overwhelming, too deep for words. It was not just the loss of a child, but the loss of dreams, plans, and a shared tomorrow. Grief entered their lives like a heavy shadow. Though their love for each other remained, the sorrow was too great to carry together. Slowly, heartbreak pulled them apart. Conversations became quieter. Smiles became rare. Love was still there. But sometimes, even the strongest love is not enough to survive such profound loss. For Keanu Reeves, this moment changed everything. The vision of marriage, family, and a life filled with shared milestones quietly slipped away. What remained was a lesson written in pain. That love can be beautiful, but it can also leave scars that never fully heal. This was the moment when Keanu's understanding of love, life, and the future was forever transformed. Just when Keanu Reeves was slowly trying to heal, life struck again, harder and more cruel than ever before. The wounds from his past loss were still fresh when fate delivered another devastating blow. In 2001, Jennifer Syme died in a tragic car accident. She was only 28 years old. In a single, unforgiving moment, Keanu lost far more than the world could ever see. He lost the woman he once loved deeply. He lost the mother of his child. And he lost the future he had once imagined, a life that could have been filled with shared memories, healing, and second chances. Now imagine carrying that kind of pain in silence, while millions of people see you only as a fearless action hero on movie screens. While audiences cheered for him as Neo or John Wick, Keanu Reeves was fighting a private battle that no script could prepare him for. He did not speak publicly about his grief. He did not turn interviews into confessionals. He never asked for sympathy or attention. Instead, he chose silence. A quiet, dignified silence that became part of who he was. Those close to Keanu noticed a change. He became more reserved, more thoughtful, and deeply introspective. Not cold but careful. As if he had learned that loving fully also meant risking unbearable loss. Many people believe this was the moment when Keanu quietly closed the door on marriage. Not because he stopped believing in love, but because he understood its cost. He had experienced love in its purest form, and he had paid for it with unimaginable pain. For Keanu, marriage was no longer just a promise of happiness. It became a reminder of what could be taken away without warning. The idea of building a future suddenly felt fragile, even dangerous, to a heart that had already been broken twice. Yet he did not turn bitter. He did not grow angry at the world. Instead, he transformed his pain into empathy, kindness, and humility. He learned to live with loss, not erase it. Keanu Reeves carried his grief the way he carried himself, quietly, respectfully, and without complaint. And in doing so, he showed the world that strength is not always loud. Sometimes it is found in surviving each day with grace. This tragedy did not end his ability to love, but it changed how close he would ever let love come again. After the heartbreaking loss of Jennifer Syme, Keanu Reeves never rushed into another serious relationship. The world expected him to move on, to find new love, or to settle down, but he chose a different path, a path that few could understand. He did date occasionally, but nothing serious, nothing public, and nothing permanent. There were no red carpet moments, no tabloid headlines, no rushed commitments. Why? Because Keanu doesn't believe in pretending. He doesn't believe in marriage just for the sake of society's expectations. And he certainly doesn't believe in trying to replace someone who had already changed the very fabric of his soul. In interviews, he has shared something powerful. I don't want to run away from grief. I want to understand it. This simple statement reveals a man who values authenticity above all else. Marriage is often painted as a hopeful future, a promise of happiness, and a symbol of security. But Keanu learned early that hope also comes with the potential for loss, and that the cost of love could be unimaginably high. Rather than rush into a union that might dilute or dishonor his past love, he chose to embrace solitude as a conscious, meaningful choice. But solitude did not mean emptiness. Instead of building a traditional family, Keanu Reeves focused on the kind of love that doesn't need a ring or a title. He cultivated deep friendships with people who truly mattered, those who could understand him without judgment. He dedicated himself to meaningful work, bringing joy and inspiration to millions around the world through his craft. Keanu also turned his personal experiences into acts of quiet generosity. He gave away millions to charities, supported film crew members financially, and treated strangers with kindness and respect day after day. This is a different kind of love, a love that heals, helps, and transforms rather than demands. For Keanu, love did not disappear after tragedy. It evolved. It became quieter, deeper, and far more powerful. It didn't need validation from the world. It didn't need public recognition. It existed in every thoughtful gesture, every heartfelt donation, and every act of kindness he extended to those around him. Solitude in Keanu Reeves' life was not loneliness. It was a conscious choice to live authentically, to honor the past, and to continue loving in his own way today. Many people ask the question, is Keanu Reeves lonely? Watching him walk through crowded streets, smiling gently at strangers, or appearing on screen as the calm, humble hero, it's easy to assume that someone so private must be alone. But the truth is far different. Keanu Reeves may not have a spouse or children to call his own, but he is far from empty. He has love, just not the loud, public kind that society often measures with rings, ceremonies, or headlines. The love he carries is quieter, deeper, and far more enduring. It exists in his friendships, in the loyalty he shows to colleagues, and in the countless small gestures of kindness he performs daily, often without anyone noticing. For Keanu, love doesn't need a contract. It doesn't need validation. And it doesn't need to end in marriage to be real. He understands that human connection can take many forms, and that a meaningful life isn't defined by social conventions. In fact, he has said, "I'm at the stage in life where I stay out of discussions. Even if you say 1 + 1 is equal to 5, you're right. Have fun." This is more than a casual statement. It is a reflection of profound peace, earned through decades of love, grief, and resilience. It's the wisdom of a man who has loved fully, lost deeply, and learned that the value of love is not measured in permanence, but in sincerity. So why did Keanu Reeves never get married? The answer lies not in fear, selfishness, or indifference, but in the intensity of a single, transformative love. He loved once, completely and forever. That love shaped his soul, informed his choices, and guided the way he interacts with the world. Rather than seek another romantic attachment, he honored that love by living a life of authenticity, generosity, and quiet reflection. In a world obsessed with outward displays of affection, Keanu Reeves reminds us that love can exist quietly, profoundly, and eternally. It can survive tragedy, adapt to solitude, and flourish without ceremony. For him, one true love, experienced fully, painfully, and beautifully, is enough to last a lifetime. And perhaps that is the greatest lesson of all. Sometimes, the heart only needs to love deeply once to find a lifetime of meaning, peace, and fulfillment.